This dal makhni, while pretty easy to make, has a lot of things that go in it. So buckle right in. Here's everything you need to make this dal makhni. You need 3/4 cups of whole urad dal, which is a whole black gram. You need 1/4 of a cup of rajma or kidney beans, 1/3 of a cup of milk, 1 tablespoon of cream, half a teaspoon of coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of black peppercorns, half a teaspoon of hing or asafoetida, half a teaspoon of cumin seeds, half a teaspoon of garam masala, half a teaspoon of red chili powder, 2 tablespoons of butter, 5 to 6 cloves of garlic, 1 inch of ginger, 1 onion that's finely chopped, 3 large tomatoes, an inch of cinnamon, and of course there's like water and salt, which we'll talk about as we go along. So we're gonna start by actually just taking our 2 dals and putting them in a bowl and adding water to them, just covering them up till the top, and then leaving them for at least an hour to soak, but ideally, close to overnight. Why you do this to dried beans and you do this to dals a lot, you'll see this, your moms also do this a lot, it's just because it helps kind of just like cook the dal faster, and apparently it also helps in reducing indigestion and flatulence. I don't know the science behind it, but that's something I did read. Now once you've done that, we're gonna put this in a pressure cooker with peppercorn, cinnamon, garlic, as well as our ginger cloves. I also kind of added some onion later on and it tasted pretty good, so you can do that. And this takes about 18 to 20 whistles on high flame, so you're looking at about an hour of cook time in the pressure cooker. There is another way to do this with a stovetop, but it cannot be faster than this. So this step is pretty easy. We're taking some of our garlic cloves and our ginger and tomato, and we're gonna just blitz it all together. But let's just stop here and talk about dal makhni in general and the brief history that I've learned about. So basically this dal was made by the same guy who made butter chicken. It was Kundan Lal Gujral, and he made it for his Moti Mahal range of hotels and restaurants. And what was really fascinating was that it was made primarily because they wanted to make a veg accompaniment to the butter chicken. Now why dal makhni is actually really fascinating is because it's actually supposed to be cooked in a tandoor for about overnight to get that smoky flavor. I traditionally don't like smoky flavored dal that much, so I didn't even incorporate it, but a great way to kind of build that fairly quickly in traditional and today's modern kitchens is to just take some coal and put it in a katori in your dal for a bit. But that's pretty much it. Okay, so now we're gonna actually do the step that really is the reason why this dish is called dal makhni. So we're gonna take our 2 tablespoons of butter, melt it down, and then we're gonna temper a lot of our aromats. So we're gonna start by adding our ginger and garlic. Now this is really fascinating because I think this dish has used multiple versions of ginger and garlic throughout the process, and that's really cool. And we're also gonna add our hing, our onions, and then we're gonna add our tomatoes. Now it's fairly easy, it all gets cooked off, and then we're gonna put it in the dal. But let's just talk about hing for a moment. It's asafoetida. It's actually African origin. It comes from a plant. It's a gum resin, and it has a really odorous smell, but all of that smell goes away the moment it's cooked off, and it has a taste of onions. So that's really fascinating, and I guess that's the reason why we use it so effectively here. On to the final part of the recipe. We're gonna take our cooked dal, we're gonna put it in a stovetop pan on medium to high heat, and then we're gonna add our onion paste that we have made. Now the onion paste has lots of butter in it, so the next thing, of course, we're gonna add milk and we're gonna add water, and we're gonna simmer this down. So the goal here is to simmer it down, emulsify that butter with everything else, and of course keep on adding fat. So now we've added cream. Next we put in the spices. So we have the red chili powder, we have the coriander powder, and the garam masala. All 3 spices that don't need anything just to be added to this dish, and that's pretty much it. So we're gonna mix it really well. Constant mixing does 2 things. One, it eases the boil process and reduces the water fairly quickly, and the second thing is it prevents anything from the bottom to actually get stuck. And you'll notice that when you're cooking this off, you need to do that. Finally, we'll add salt, and you're done. I hope you try this recipe. Happy cooking.